Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing the second part, pack 3 of the Agora Models release of the award-winning Apache AH-64 Longbow attack helicopter. Now, I've done this introduction a little bit different to like I've done the others because I've already done the second part of pack 3. I've got it all laid out here. Let me tell you, the recording time of it was like 3 hours. So the continuity clock is not into play today. Oh, it might be. Keep your eye on it. It's going to be quite fun. But one stage alone took 1.5 hours. But I have abbreviated it down so this video is not too long at all. But I'm sure you're going to be loving what I'm doing today and see how actual fiddly this is. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description and there's also that QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So I've actually got 5 stages to do to complete this pack, and I'm trying to find my scalpel so I can open this. So stage 18 is where we're starting. Now this has got a lot of fiddly parts to do in this, so let's see what we're going to be doing. So first thing I want to do is take these 2 green sections here, quite simply just push these together like that. Now this is where I've got to open pretty much all bags because I'm looking for a tiny black detail, which I believe is in this bag here. And this is the detail I'm looking at. I'm going to be gluing this just into the top of this section here. It does have a little D-shaped hole at the bottom. There you go. So many parts just into this stage. And then need this section just here. And once again, a little bit of glue just onto this D-lug at the bottom. And push that into place like that. Now I've got a hole on the other side here. That's for this one. Again, because it's got a D-lug at the bottom, it does dictate which way round this goes, and they're both in like that. They're actually snapping, so I don't know if you needed glue or not. I put glue in mine. Got me sprue cutters here. I'm going to want to cut these off the sprue here. And each one of these is going to be going into the end here. So, going to get me tweezers. I can envision these going everywhere. Bit of glue on them. And start putting these in. So that's one in. Let me continue doing all the way around. I do think I'm going to find this easier if I use my helping hands. Now, as I said, this is available in my Amazon store, and I have put a link down the bottom there. Okay, let's do this. There we go, that's done. I actually found that quite difficult, you know. Oh, okay. Just put that to one side, let that dry. And I'm now going to be bringing over this section here. A couple of things to put in here. That's these little sections here, and you will notice there is a hole in them. We want the hole to be facing outwards. So, put one in one side there. This is how the holes are laid out there, but that's one in. Let's put the one in the other side. As you can see, they're both in. And then finally, I've got this piece here, which is going to go into the other holes. And when that's in, that should look like that. Okay. And again, let that dry, put that to one side. And I'm bringing over a large section now, because I'm about to put a hinge onto this. Now I want the hinge to be this way round. As you can see, I'm going to be putting that over this section just here. Now that needs to be glued into place. So I'm just going to hold that for a second. And then while that's drying, I'm going to be getting out this part. This is going to be going over the top of this section here so that the lugs line up with the ones underneath. Just like that there. Now I'm holding CP screws to keep that into place. You need to realise where they go. They don't go into the big holes, they go into the holes next to it, just there. So one in this side, and on this side it's the larger hole, just there. So that looks like that. Now I think the next parts we can actually just push in, so I've got what looks like a control box or something here. That's going to go into these 2 points just here. So I'll get that pushed in. Oh, they do. They snap in. You're not going to need to glue them. And then on top of that, I've got this tiny detail here, which again, I don't think we're going to need to glue. But that goes in there. And boy, do I have a lot of piping here. So I want this bit of piping first, which is going to go into the hole just here. A little bit of glue on the end. Get that side pushed in. I've zoomed up a tiny bit closer. The two little pegs that we've got coming out of that are going to go into the two tiny holes that we've got just between these buttons here. So let me get them in. There you go. That's in place like that. Put some glue just on the other end here, because that's going to go into that hole just there. Perfect. Now in the two holes I've got here and here, I've got a detail that I just need to slide under that pipe we just put in and press that into place. So that looks like that. There's just so much detail in this section. I mean, look at these tiny parts here. This is going to go on top of that. There is a certain way that goes round. So that looks like that. I need to open this orange bag of details. These are going to be glued. So I want this tiny detail here, which is going into the D-shaped hole just there. Perfect. Then I've got 18Z, which is just this part here. And we want to glue just the end of it here, because it's that end that's going to go into this back box. So that's in like that. Then I need this pipe, which has got like a hook on it. And I'm going to get glue just into both ends of this. So one end's going to go into this hole just here. And the other end is going to go into the first hole of the detail we just put in. So that looks like that. The second pipe looks like this. Get glue on both ends here. This time this is going into the hole just here. And the other end's going to go into the second one along. And I've got two similar pipes here. I want the thicker pipe, looking like this. That's going just into the hole just there. And the other side goes into the side of this section. And then the thinner pipe is just going to go next to it. Oh my, is that some fiddly work? Check that out. In fact, let me show you on the top camera as well. Okay, gonna let that dry, put that to one side. And I want to bring over this tiny box. You see we've got two holes in this. I've got an even tinier little bracket to put on. This is some crazy detail here. There you go, that's on. In the top, I've got an orange pipe. That's how that looks. Bring over what we've just been working on. The orange pipe we just fitted is going to go into that hole, and the lugs at the bottom of this black section are going into these two here. So let's get that in. This is the rare time which I think putting this in is going to be a lot easier if I actually snip the pegs off of this, which I'm just doing now. Give it a quick sand to make sure it's flat. Because I do want this to sit flat in here, you see, and I think those pegs are impeding it a little bit. So I'm just going to hold that into place. And as you can see, that looks a lot better. Okay. Then got this larger orange pipe to put on. So again, I'm going to put some glue at each end. Best to put the back end in first, then the front. So that looks like that. And then I can put that to one side for a second. Then I've got this massive detail here. And in this bag, I've got some parts to put into this. These are kind of like bushes which are going in here. So pushing these in. So one in there. Do the same on the other two hexagonal holes I've got here. One there and one there. Now I'm going to be joining these parts together. So what we've just created here is going to be going underneath this section here, but at the same time if I can put that in like that, I need to put these rods into the shafts here. So, best way to do this, bring the shafts into an upright position. And then hold your breath, I guess. So that took some time, but I've just put them in there, both sides, and then this is just being glued in like that. So then this can open and close. Definitely the longest stage of any build I've ever done. And the next thing to do is to put these two parts together. So these do need to be glued. So I'm just going to put some glue just on top of the lugs just here. And push this in. So that looks like that from that side and there. Turn it over and you see that now gives me two holes here for this part to go in. Put some glue on the bottom of this and push that into place. And then holding it this way around, probably best on the top camera, this is going to go on top of that hinge just into the point just here. So I'm going to glue that in. And there we go. That's that in. Looking good. That is so hard. Especially hard to get the bigger lug in that side as well. I did have to file that down a little bit. Another pipe to put in now. Looks like this. So I'll get some glue on each end. And get this into position. So one end's going into the side of the box we just put in. And the other end's just going into the vacant hole that we've got on the top of that black section we put in earlier on where we've been putting all those pipes. And that's in like that. Crazy detail. Okay, we get to put all of these parts together now. So I'm going to be attaching this top onto here, like this. Push it together. That is excellent. Just going to clean this up a little bit. Because I've got oil everywhere. That's perfect. And as you can see, this is now able to open. So you can see everything inside and close. Open and close. Excellent. Okay, put that to one side and bring over this section that we're working on last time. I want it this way round. And I've got this top here to put over the top just like that there. So that fits flush on there. Then I can turn this whole thing over, bring this across, and put this on there like that. It's going to be held in with a KP screw from the top. Perfect. Then I've got this shaft, rubbery shaft, just to put in there. Like that. And then I've got to put some decals on this. So let me go get the decals. Basically, they're pretty much all the ones around this area here. So we've got this warning, this little bit here, and this little bit here. So let me just cut off all of those there. I think I'll be putting decals on today, I have to say. Right, let's let that soak. I don't soak these completely. I'm only really putting the bases in here just so I can get this into position. And they all kind of go around this section here in front of this. So I'm going to put them all on, show you what that looks like. And they go on like that. One says do not paint and the other one says I can't read it. I cannot read it, but there we go. That's all the decals on this. Show you what that looks like all the way around. Okay. That is the end of that stage. Now that stage has just taken me an hour and a half to do one stage. Can you believe that? But we are going to move on. So in stage 19, I am going to be doing something we have done before. I'm going to start to assemble the right engine. And I am aware of probably the running time of this video. So what I'm going to do is I will sort of speed up just placement of where I'm actually putting parts. So first things to do, don't need glue, is I'm going to be piecing these two parts together here. I'm going to be gluing this onto here. So I'll get that in. Then this part, which does have a D-shaped hole, which I can snap into position there. Then this piece is just going in here, like that. I haven't glued that, that's gone in really tight. And I'm putting this tiny detail in, which just goes into this section here. This can then go into the two holes at the top. Snap them in. I've got this part here going in here. Again, can only go in one way because it is a D-shaped pattern in there. Then I'm going to be putting this pipe in. Glue on the end there. That goes into the hole just here. So it sits like that. The slot underneath that, I've got a detail here. Every detail I'm putting in, I am checking if I need glue or not. And if I am, I'm just naturally assume I'm putting glue on them. So that's in there. And finally, I've got one more pipe to put in. So just putting some glue on the end here. And that's just going to go into the hole just here. So with that into position, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 20 here, we have got some rockets to do. As I said to you in the last pack, what I'm going to be doing is I'll be doing these rockets right at the end because I've already created some of these and putting the decals on, so I'll keep that safe. Which means all I'm going to be doing is creating this nacelle. Now we've already created a nacelle before as well, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be putting first off this section here just into the holes there. We do have a big lug and a smaller lug. They're not asking me to glue that, but there we go. That's in. And I do have these JP screws here, which we're going to be using later on. That's the end of that stage. So in stage 21, again, building the nacelles like we did last time, you had to decide if you're going to be doing version 1 or version 2. I'm actually doing version 2, so I'm going to be following the version 2 instructions. And because I've done the nacelles in the last pack, again, I'm going to be whizzing through this. So this hinge, first off, is going to go on the top there, held in with LP screws. Bring over this part of the nacelle, and I need the bracket which says R1. So it says R1 on here. Let's just open these brackets up. And I've got the R1 bracket here. That's just going to be going over that side there, and it's held in with KP screws. Turn it over, and then do exactly the same with the R2 one in this side, and put that in with KP screws. Put the like-minded fascias on. So that says R2, so I need the fascia here which says R2. And that's just going to go on top and push that into place. Do the same on the other side. Push that into place. Now if you remember in the last video that I did, we've got these grills to put on. I need to make sure they're all going in the same direction. So I'm just going to sort them out now. And it's just a case of putting these all into position on here. Now I'm just going to see how they fit. I think they hold themselves, they do. So I have sorted these out here, as you can see. Get these in, turn it over, do the other side. And there we go. That's how they look when they're all in. Now on this side here, I've got this bracket to put on, which goes over the top. Push that in like that. And that is that stage complete. So we're on the last stage. I can see this is going to be the longest video so far this year. I reckon we're probably going to be pushing on about 2.5 hours to do just 5 stages. But first thing I need is this section here, and I'm going to be adding the hinges over the top here so I can open and shut that. They're going to be held in with LP screws. I want to take what I created here, and that's just going to be going into that position just there. That's held in with JP screws. Now that's these silver screws that we had last time, which had to keep safe. So 2 of these to hold this in. Put that to one side. I'm just going to mount up a light now, which means I'm taking this mount and putting this into position just on top here like that. That's held in with HP screws. Need 2 of those. I'm mounting this into this section just here. So it's going to be going in this way, just over the top, and push these onto the lugs here. Really do want to make sure that they are on. like that. Perfect. Bring over this section here, and I'm going to be just feeding the light through here, or the plug from the light through here, just like that. Just leave it loose for a second, because now I'm bringing over this section, and I want to put the lead from this through the top here so it comes out the bottom, and then put this on top here like that. Just push that down. So that's clipped in. Now I want to be putting 2 LP screws just into position to help hold this down. So one here and one just behind it here. Perfect. Then just like last time, I've got this windscreen wiper looking thing, which I am going to put just a drop of glue in here, which fits just over the indent here. Perfect. And then I can push this top into place, which will trap this part in here like that. Excellent. I've got this light to put in now, which basically just goes on top. It's a push-in. It's the lens for the light, should I say. So I'm just going to push that in there. So that looks like that. We do have a navigation light here, which I'm going to keep in the bag because we need to keep that safe. But if I turn this upside down, I have got this plate that I'm going to need to put in. It's actually going to go in that way there. And again, this is a push-in, so it's just lining these up, pushing that in like that. Then I can put this whole nacelle to one side, bring the engine back over, because once again, I do have a plate here, which is going to go over those 2 holes there. So get this lined up and pushed in. And can you believe that's all there is to do in that stage? That's all there is to do in that pack. So obviously we've created this side of the nacelle with the little door here, which opens and closes. We've been doing the engine. We've got this little part here, which we haven't done anything with at the moment. And then obviously this thing just took absolute age to do. But as you can see, with the amount of detail that we've got in there, that is crazy. But there you go. I do have pack 4 here. I'm going to be doing that in the coming weeks. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.